We may live without poetry, music, and art. We may live without concerts and live without heart. We may live without friends. We may live without books. But civilized man cannot live without cooks. An excerpt from an old poem from an old cookbook by Owen Meredith. For the most part, the first cooks we'll recognize in our family are our moms. Unless Dad too does a reasonable job behind the stove at best. But really, from my point of view, it's the moms out there that are making the baby formulas and baby food at birth, and then introducing you to solid foods as you're coming up, that hopefully will transform into home cooking that will certainly rival any 5-star restaurant or chain eatery, including this one. If your mom's been doing that ever since you were growing up as a kid, up until the point where you finally flew the nest, and yet at that point she still made the quick cook to deliver you, or overnighted you via FedEx or UPS, your favorite pie or cake for your birthday, then I think it's high time we returned the favor and treated our moms to some good food. And of course we're going to do that in signature TSR style with the help of two women, both of them making their TSR debuts, both of them relative television personalities and household names, late night and prime time. If you don't want to go homemade and you still want to splurge, well, provided that they're still open and you can do it safely, I'll be giving you some restaurant recommendation and inspiration for recreating this restaurant's Italian-American delicacies. This is a little something I like to call Mamma Mia's Home Cookeries. That's my little mashup of home cooking memories, some of which I hope to bring to life for you today. Because while your mom might not have had the chutzpah to name you Michelin, or she might not have had Michelin qualities in the kitchen and her food only just passed muster, you still gotta consider her a real mensch for trying her best so that you can be your best. In that spirit, this is a special expanded edition of the Thrift Store Rundown celebrating Mother's Day the only way we know how, by bringing Hollywood home on a budget. I don't know about where you live, but here in Patterson today, it rained for the most part. In fact, at one point, we had a sequential downpour. So, it is during one of those days where you are in need of some serious home cooking. And this is that. Seriously fun, seriously funny, seriously adorable, and, most importantly, seriously delicious. If you're not familiar with the work of Dorothy Mentoring, then you probably weren't a fan of The Late Show with David Letterman in the 90s. She served as the 1994 Winter Olympics correspondent, reporting live on the scene in Lillehammer, Norway for The Late Show. But her appearances on The Late Show go far beyond her abilities as a, quote, amateur broadcaster reporting live. She's made many an appearance on David Letterman's show on CBS and on NBC. That's right, he had 2 terms of late shows. NBC first, and then CBS, his longtime home, the Tiffany Network. Through many phone calls made on the air, and of course, many a satellite visit. It was high time that she satiated the masses that were warming up to her quicker than Taya Harding's ego can warm up to itself. So out of that kind of love came Home Cookin' with Dave's Mom, a pocketbooks publication purchased for $3.99 and for 50% off. David Letterman, being the doting son that he was, provides the foreword. This is co-authored by Jess Cagle of People and Entertainment Weekly fame. Food and photography is by Christopher Little, and there's plenty of photographs also from the Letterman family archives. Dorothy, when she was coming up during the years of her youth, and of course Dorothy with her own family growing up in Indianapolis and Carmel, Indiana. This retails for $20 in the US, not a bad price, and $27 in Canada. Memories of Dorothy's own mother cooking over a coal stove are interspersed with recipes for Uncle Earl's creamed chipped beef tater tots, which is really frozen chipped beef and frozen tater tots. Hey, she said her brother was a bachelor cook, and that really does sound like a recipe that a bachelor would cook. No offense. Chicken noodle soup with homemade noodles, cheese straws, friendship tea, and lemon fluff from Dorothy's personal trainer. Yes, Dorothy Mentree had her own personal trainer. Her son's favorites, a hot bologna sandwich and sour cherry pie. The latter she overnights faithfully to him each year for his birthday. She's also got terrific techniques for canning and freezing vegetables, helpful household hints including Dorothy's homemade window cleaner, and dozens of recipes. Fun foods, soups and salads, meats, sauces, and unforgettable desserts. Home Cooking with Dave's Mom is her labor of love, spiced with down-home humor, warm-hearted advice, and great-tasting food, as you're about to see now. This is an excerpt from the conclusion of this book. And surrounding this excerpt are several black and white photographs of Dorothy during the years of her youth. I'm showing you the back first because we're actually going to start with breads and breakfast first, and that's actually one of the final chapters in here. We're going to show you breakfast and lunch here in this first cookbook, and we're going to show you lunch and dinner and dessert in the next cookbook. So we start with breads and breakfast. If you never had enough confidence to bake homemade bread, or at the very least bake homemade muffins and pies, she gives you enough courage to try, and of course plenty of recipes to motivate you along the way. Awesome orange chocolate muffins from her first granddaughter, Bryn Muth, whose favorite word is one of my favorite words, awesome. And these orange chocolate muffins do sound awesome. Pumpkin muffins from A Shaker Village cookbook, We Make You Kindly Welcome, by Elizabeth Kremer. Two of the recipes actually sound a bit unconventional. Baby food muffins. That's right, baby food is an active ingredient in here. Plum or applesauce baby food. Would you add baby food to a muffin to get even the pickiest eaters to eat a muffin? Not that there's anyone who's not that picky about having a sweet treat. Biff Henderson's favorite breakfast, and cheese grits. This is another unconventional breakfast if you enjoy eating tuna to start your day. By the way, Biff Henderson is the Late Show stage manager. There are actually plenty of recipe contributions from many Late Show staffers. Cheese grits, not unconventional. Customizing your scrambled eggs with Tabasco, hot sauce, or salsa, definitely not unconventional. A bologna breakfast, so simple, the directions are brief and simplified. Just put a slice of bologna on a griddle in a skillet and it will cup. Then you can put some scrambled eggs in that bologna cup for a fun breakfast served with fruit or fruit juice and toast. Cheddar cheese biscuits. Judy's breakfast casserole. Really, this is my favorite recipe in this chapter. That is what you really would want to serve to your mom on Mother's Day. Deep fried biscuits. Again, that's unconventional, but not so much so that I should turn you away from it. Southern spoon bread, courtesy of the Boone Tavern Hotel in Berea, Kentucky. Service at the restaurant and hotel is provided by students at Berea College, or Berea College, which gives work and education to Appalachian students. Instead of tipping, you can make a donation to the student fund. The students come around with their pans of hot spoon bread and ask if you want some. And of course, Dorothy never refuses, which is why their recipe is included in here. One of the many house specials you'll find in here is spinach pumpkin seed pesto. Whenever you see a house special, this sign would indicate that those are signature recipes, either from Dorothy or from friends that she recruited to contribute recipes to this cookbook, mainly executive chefs and or owners of bed and breakfast inns, like Steve Coakley at Henry's at the Strader in Durango, Colorado. Oh, and rum buns too. zucchini bread, and a sugar plum loaf, which definitely is akin to a fruitcake even though she doesn't like fruitcake, and it's more of a holiday treat. And this is their 1995 Christmas tree, surrounded by Hans' 1928 Lionel model train. Hans is Dorothy's second husband, who served as a fighter pilot, I believe, in one of the wars. So he was a member of the armed forces. Her first husband, Joe Letterman, passed away, I believe, in the early 70s or early 80s. Now you might be asking, what about lunch? Okay, well, what about lunch? Well, I got a classic pairing for you, soup and salad. Tomato celery soup, once again from the Sacred Village cookbook We Make You Kindly Welcome by Elizabeth Kremer, and hot chicken salad, another house special. This is from her friend Emma Worthington. She sold this to editor Sue Coswell of Pocket Books, who by the way is a vegetarian. And well, that's sad for her in this case because, well, look at that. Hot chicken and rice and a hot salad, which really doesn't look much like a salad. It looks more like a casserole than anything else. But it definitely looks like something that Sue Coswell will not be having anytime soon. That looks tasty. So while some of the recipes here might not seem that conventional to you, what more than makes up for that are the heartwarming and hilarious anecdotes of Dorothy's time coming up in Indianapolis and Carmel, Indiana, as well as the stories of her children, Jan, Gretchen, the two daughters, and of course, the doting son, David. My favorite story, however, has to come from here. She did live field work for The Late Show in London for her big debut on David Letterman's program. Above and beyond that, this really is just a fun cookbook to read. No matter if you follow this by the letter or just some of the recipes to make them your own, I can say you one thing. Just like David Letterman's next guest needs no introduction, I don't think you need me to tell you any further that you'll be making a real sound choice in purchasing this unique and one-of-a-kind family cookbook.
Can't wait to a place where we will have dinner. And now we're getting ready for dinner.
I think we highlighted the core mission of BUCA di BEPPO pretty darn well in that opening field piece, which is to make you feel like La Familia whenever you come through their festive doors, whether you come in groups of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 20. Although 20 doesn't really sound that practical or safe given the times. You gotta get with the times. If you're planning to treat mom to BUCA di BEPPO today, and you come to find out that A, you don't have one near you, or B, you do, but then you find out much to your disappointment that it is closed, temporarily, or forever, the taste of the one in Times Square in New York because of, yes, the coronavirus. You'll definitely want to take heed of this next review. The official cookbook where we dive deep into the sauce. 100% authentic Italian recipes from their cucina, our cucina, to your kitchen. This was picked up for $2.49 for the same discount as the previous cookbook, half off the sticker price. If you're not familiar with the BUCA di BEPPO story, here's a short little video getting you acquainted with this beloved Italian-American casserole dining chain.
At BUCA di BEPPO, we are all familia. BUCA di BEPPO brings Italian family-style dining with generous portions, great value, and the world-famous half-pound meatballs to a neighborhood near you. BUCA uses only the freshest ingredients to create authentic Italian dishes and a twist on classic favorites. Guests continue to return for many of BUCA's favorites, whether it's the delicious chicken parmigiana, classic lasagna, prosciutto stuffed chicken, baked ziti, or the world-famous spaghetti and meatballs. They always leave feeling satisfied. This is the perfect place to celebrate in our one-of-a-kind festive atmosphere, surrounded by kitschy vintage collectibles and photographs. It is said that there are more than 2,500 photos in our BUCA collection. BUCA is perfect for any occasion. Whether it's a table for 2 or 20, let our family serve you. From anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, and baby showers, to retirements, rehearsal dinners, or just getting together with the family, we are sure not to disappoint. BUCA de BEPPO has several different semi-private rooms that are perfect for any size celebration. All restaurants have a Pope table. This round table seats 12 to 18 and has a lazy Susan in the middle of the table, paying homage to popes past and present. The wine room features a ceiling covered in a variety of grapevines and Italian wine bottles and is set to accommodate multiple configurations of table settings. The poster room is Vintage Italia, with the ceiling covered in our collection of Italian vintage posters. This too is a semi-private room set to accommodate groups of different sizes. Most locations have a table inside the kitchen that we call our chef's table. This provides the guests with direct interaction with our chefs, leaving for an extra memorable experience and a meal tailored just for you. BUCA now has locations from Hawaii to the United Kingdom and continues to be a favorite by many and a constant celebration of life, Italian style.
So now that you can appreciate BUCA di BEPPO a little bit more, sans the cartoonist Italian music, let's dive deep into the sauce just like these 5 women do with grace and serious gusto. There's a dedication to the co-founder, Phil Roberts, from Chairman and CEO of BUCA Inc. and President Joseph P. Michelotto. And a foreword by Mel Sindler, renowned food critic for CBS Radio and Zagat Survey. I actually heard of him through an episode of Hell's Kitchen, in which he was one of the 2 critics that were dining in season 4. Go figure. These are the contents. Diamonds of the Italian kitchen. Spaghetti, sauce, and spaghetti sauce. Old Italia, New Italia. Family begins with 2. Recipes designed for 2. Celebrations and La Dolce Vita. Celebrations will be the focal point of this review, and La Dolce Vita, well, those are desserts. But really, they're all signature Italian-American delicacies. Some old standards from BUCA di BEPPO, some you won't find on their menu, and were made just for this cookbook. So let's go to celebrations. We have Sicilian lamb stew, Grandpa's salt cod, Sunday rolled stuffed beef, which definitely would be a signature standard for this particular day. Hello, Sunday dinner on Mother's Day. That's when Sunday dinners really take prominence and really take center stage. Cornish game hens with spinach sauce, lasagna casserole, breaded veal with fennel, potato dumplings with peas and gorgonzola, and swordfish, Syracuse style. How about that? By the way, this is Joseph Michelotto's family. His parents, mother and father, far right, posing for a family photo at one of their many get-togethers. Truly, La Familia. This is the kitchen table at BUCA di BEPPO. That is a standard at many BUCA di BEPPO restaurants. Of course, when you walk into a BUCA di BEPPO restaurant now, you have a mask mandate as well as social distancing. But still, with all that in mind, you still should feel like La Familia. And the recipe should give you great motivation to gather around the table at least once more. Wine applicable. So here we have Sicilian lamb stew, Grandpa's salt cod, Sunday rolled stuffed beef. As you can see, BUCA di BEPPO is the site for many a wedding reception, celebration, and or engagement party. Cornish game heads with spinach sauce, bechamel sauce, spinach sauce, lasagna casserole. You can swap out the bechamel sauce for the spinach sauce if you don't like either of them together. Breaded veal with fennel, potato dumplings with peas and gorgonzola, and of course the gorgonzola sauce that you can serve alongside those dumplings. And finally, swordfish Syracuse style. Syracuse is not, by the way, Syracuse, New York. I actually said it wrong this whole time. Forgive me. I look at the viewfinder sometimes, I also look at the book sometimes. It's actually Syracuse, a city in Sicily where the swordfish caught near this beautiful Mediterranean island is the most popular of all fish. The Sicilians cook swordfish in many different ways. This is one of my favorites because the light sauce does not overpower the freshness or moistness of this dish. That is actually Chef Vittorio, one of the executive chefs for BUCA de BEPPO's restaurants. And as far as La Dolce Vita goes, sweet endings, well, they don't get any more sweeter than poached pears with honey sauce and ricotta cheesecake. If you have been to a BUCA de BEPPO before, and you can recognize some of the signature dishes in here, appetizers, antipasti, salata, salads, soups, entrees, desserts, whatever, why don't you highlight some of those dishes for me in the comments? However, you should be aware that there are a couple of signature Italian-American dishes that are actually omitted. Why do I know this? Because I checked BUCA de BEPPO's website. Right now, they have a Mother's Day package going on where you can take home and carry out a few Italian-American favorites, like rigatoni, chicken parmesan, and spaghetti marinara, for a low price, a fair price. Some signature Italian-American dishes, like chicken parmesan, for instance, is actually omitted. I don't get why, but they are. And if you have a favorite Italian-American delicacy that you like to share, and it's not found in this cookbook, well, please highlight that in the comments too. But for the most part, there are plenty of familial anecdotes from BUCA de BEPPO staffers, mainly the senior executives, and of course the executive chef, who provides plenty of commentary and notes for some of the recipes in here. Lots of delicious looking food photographs, lots of black and white family photography in America and in Italy, sourcing out ingredients to create new signature dishes for this much beloved establishment, for which we don't have a single location here in New Jersey to call our own. The closest one we have is in New York, in a small suburb of Albany called Colony, New York. We had one in Times Square, but of course that's shut forever because of COVID. You called, you cajoled, you threatened, and finally you succeeded in getting BUCA de BEPPO to share the secret sauce. The secrets that have made Joe's Basement America's most beloved Italian-American restaurant. Yes, BUCA de BEPPO started in somebody's basement. The basement of the president, Joe Michelotto. It's all here. Celebration meals and portions for 2 or 20. Culinary traditions passed down through the generations, and the key to the perfect marinara. Add your personal touch and these will become your own secret recipes. This retails for $24.95 in the US. And you know my affinity for restaurant cookbooks. If I find a restaurant cookbook at a thrift shop, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care what restaurant it is. One that I visited before, or one that I have not. In this case, BUCA de BEPPO. By the way, I can't help but notice that you are looking at this red ribbon right here. I know, it's kind of to add a festive looking touch, like how you would put a bow on a gift, making this a little more gift friendly. But for me, it's just unnecessary and unneeded. And in rare instances, can actually hinder my recreational reading. So, yeah, it's just not needed. There you go. Regardless if you can have a BUCA de BEPPO to call your own, where you live, or if you don't, well, I would really suggest you look at this cookbook and take it under consideration. Because I think, get out of the way. It's one surefire way to have your mama joyously shouting, Mamma Mia! And if your mom so happens to be named Mia, well, all I can say is... bonus! For all you new moms out there, TSR is about to throw a baby bottle your way with the third and final review. For all you moms out there that have given birth on Mother's Day, especially on this Mother's Day today, well, huzzah to all of you! You'll be needing this cookbook for the long haul. If you haven't heard of Liza Huber, well then, you might not have been familiar with the very last daytime soap opera created for network television on NBC. Liza Huber is a renowned actress, particularly in the daytime soap opera field. I like to think that she developed her craft on her own, but this now retired actress got a lot more than a little bit of help from her mom, the deepest diva in all daytime soaps, if that's even a term, Susan Lucci, Erica Kane, ABC's All My Children. She's also a businesswoman in her own right, but first and foremost, Liza Huber is a mom who came up with her very own formula and system for what to feed her firstborn son in a cheap, effective, and of course, healthy and delicious way. Thus, Sage Spoonfuls was born. Simple recipes, healthy meals, happy babies. Sage Spoonfuls, by the way, is much more than just a cookbook, with 66 easy-to-prepare recipes plus hundreds of yummy food combinations all picked up for $3.99 and 50% off that sticker price. Sage Spoonfuls is actually Liza Huber's award-winning baby food product line, from storage containers to its very own immersion blender and food processor. This book, by the way, was published in-house through Liza's very own label, Sage Bears Books. It's best to let Liza explain in her own words what Sage Spoonfuls is really all about, where homemade baby food has never been easier, so take it away.
As parents, we only want the best for our babies. By feeding them homemade baby food, we're not only giving them the most nutritious and delicious food, we're helping prevent them from growing into picky eaters. Sage Spoonfuls is an award-winning homemade baby food system for today's busy parents. Our highly acclaimed book tells you everything you need to know about starting your baby on solids and includes 66 easy-to-prepare recipes and hundreds of yummy food combinations. Puree your baby food in seconds with our powerful yet quiet immersion blender and food processor. You can even use them beyond the baby food stage to make smoothies, soups, and more. Storage is an easy one-step process with our grab-and-go jars. They're airtight, leak-proof, dishwasher-safe, and have measurement markings to ensure perfect portions. These 4-ounce jars are great for baby food, finger food snacks, and make fantastic popsicle molds. Our kits come with 48 ounces of food storage, so you can cook in bulk to save time and money, while the labels and stackable storage trays keep your baby food organized. Need to feed your baby away from home? No problem. Just place what you need into our cooler with the freezer pack. It's perfect for travel, daycare, school lunch, and more. All of our products are BPA-free and made with non-toxic materials. In fact, our storage jars, trays, labels, and freezer pack are all proudly made in the USA. Sage Spoonfuls. Homemade baby food has never been easier.
So let's open this up and get some Sage Spoonfuls of wisdom from this mother of four and now retired actress. Food for thought. Want to make your own baby food? Simple. It's cost effective, it's much more healthier, it's easy, and it's delicious. The benefits of going organic. Of course, Liza Huber is definitely a big proponent of all organic baby food. More parents should be. The essentials. Allergies and food intolerances. The ABCs of good nutrition. Special diets. Special considerations for preemies. Herbs and spices to wisely add and omit when making baby food. Foods to avoid, plus choking 911 and infant CPR. Important safety information to be on the lookout for dire situations. God forbid they happen. Let's get started. The tools you'll need and ingredients you'll need, mainly fruits and veggies and meats, for pureeing, serving, storing, and making yummy combinations out of. A homemade lifestyle, making mealtime fun and Sage Spoonfuls on the go. And beginning from page 73 onward, recipes for babies 4 to 6 months old, 7 to 9 months old, 10 to 12 months old, a year old tops. Introducing solid foods casually and slowly as you go along, plus family favorites. We're going to highlight a couple of recipes for the newborns here, based on my favorite fruits. and my favorite vegetable. Here we have an apple. For the most part, the recipes, quote unquote, for the newborns are not really recipes. They're just fruits or veggies that you liquefy, adding some form of liquid as you go along to achieve a safe yet sustainable and satisfying consistency. In the case of an apple, 3 medium apples would equal a 10-ounce puree. All recipes, by the way, contain the numerous health benefits that you're going to get when consuming them, when the babies consume them. Good sources of these health benefits and excellent sources of these health benefits. By the way, excellent sources of is actually mandated by the FDA or some other government regulating thing that for baby food. It's not just, an accident that's thrown around casually to determine which fruit and which veggie gives you the best health benefits. It's mandated that certain foods be excellent sources of some of these benefits. By the way, if you're looking for some yummy combinations with apples, you can try some with other fruits like bananas and pears, and primarily with vegetables. If there was ever a time to get your kids to eat vegetables, it's right here, right now, when they're first born. Actually, really not when they're first born, but when they're newborns who are ready to be introduced to solid food as they grow up in life. Here we have cherries. 25 cherries would equal a 4-ounce puree, and you can combine cherries with other fruits like bananas, apples, peaches, apricots, plums. You can combine them with 1 or 2 other fruits. With vegetables, parsnips, sweet potatoes, butternut roasted pumpkins, or with meat, like cherries and chicken, turkey, pork, or lamb, cherries, sweet potatoes, and chicken, turkey, pork, or lamb, cherries, parsnips, chicken, turkey, pork, or lamb, so on and so forth. Cherries and chicken. How about that for a combination? Although I have heard of a red, white, and blueberry grilled chicken on Food Blizzards with Chef John, as well as a cherry bomb chicken for the 4th of July. By the way, 4th of July, I got another cookbook review in mind. Oh, you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. For the tomato, some people consider it a vegetable, some people consider it a fruit because it has seeds. Well, what do I consider it? Can't there be a happy medium in between? Anyway, 2 medium tomatoes would give you 7-ounce puree, which would be more than enough to feed your little one. And it's an excellent source of the following vitamins: C, A, and K, a good source of these health benefits, also containing these health benefits. You can combine the tomato with cauliflower, zucchini, parsnips, asparagus, with 1 or 2 other vegetables, with beans, legumes, lentils, split peas, black beans, or with meat, tomato, zucchini, chicken, or turkey, which would be my favorite combination here. 1 of 5 combinations you can add with meat, the tomatoes. And of course, my favorite meat of them all, chicken. A pound of ground chicken that you can buy at a store should equal a 16-ounce puree that you can combine with fruit, veggies, or beans. Excellent source of these health benefits, and a good source of these health benefits here. It's suitable for the fridge and freezer as well. This is in the 7 to 9 month stage. Now for the family favorites. Infused water. Water infused with some form of fruit. It's smoothie time. Chicken soup pasta, apricot lamb curry, too good to be true tomato sauce, roast chicken with veggies, lentil stew, mango pork tenderloin, salmon with garlic and veggies, hummus and mussel man, stir fry. With the wedges for serving to youngins and the wedges for serving to adults as well. As I peruse through this family favorite section, I should tell you that this is very much akin to the Baby Love Cookbook. If you don't know what that is, click the link below for that review. It is a cookbook that is co-authored by married couple Noah O'Donnell and Jeff Tracy. The former of which being the anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. The latter, Noah O'Donnell's husband, Jeff Tracy, being a noted and acclaimed DC chef. So it's very much comparable to that. Yet, I don't think Baby Love gives you the vast volume of safety information before beginning the recipes that say Spoonfuls does. By the way, Liza, your mom of 4 kids. But why would you, disacknowledge one of them? Not cool. Forget you not acknowledging, your fans for just a moment, even though that's unacceptable. Why does Mason here get no love? Sorry, here. Oh well. I'll just assume for the fact that you are donating a loving mother to all 4 kids, even though one of them didn't get a shout out in the acknowledgement section properly, landed your fan base. But all that aside, you know what? If I become a parent sometime soon, I might want to give Sage Spoonfuls a try. There's nothing like homemade. Amen to that. This is endorsed by a pediatrician, Dr. Laura Pagnotta, who's also a mother of 3 and big-time contributor to Sage Spoonfuls. This retails for $24.95. And with plenty of sage wisdom, grace, and advice to go around, I think this is a worthwhile book to buy if you want to give the kids the best start in life so that they can pursue their own passions in life. Before we wrap this up and rate each one of these cookbooks, which again were all purchased for 50% off their sticker prices, I should note the different lighting here in the studio, as you probably noticed. That's because I got a new lamp in the studio today, and it's working quite well. Hope you like the new lighting. If not, I'll go back to the desk lamp. And I should also note that I shot the intro for this review on Friday, and then shot all the reviews the following day on Saturday, which was yesterday if you're watching this on Mother's Day, Sunday today, and yesterday in Patterson, it rained. Hence the echo show providing the sound effects that you've heard throughout this entire show today. So, there's that too. Anyway, let's put the pacifier on this baby mouth once and for all, and tell you where each of these cookbooks stand in my opinion. Home Cooking with Dave's Mom. 4.5 out of 5 claps. Some of the recipes are a little too unconventional, and a couple of them are just borderline lazy. Creamed chipped beef tater tots made entirely from frozen food. That's definitely a bachelor recipe. Yet, if you're making that for Mother's Day for your mom, it's the thought that counts, right? David Letterman's foreword acknowledging the reader, quote, "Thank you, good night, and bon appetit," in the cookbook, is what gives this cookbook the edge in me giving it 4.5 out of 5 as opposed to 4. Even if it's being relayed in the third person to Jill A. Davis, Lieutenant Secretary of Nutrition for the World Health Organization. Oh, that Letterman. You still got it after all these years. BUCA de BEPPO Into the Sauce gets the same grade, for the omission of some signature Italian-American standards. But Sage Spoonfuls? Well, you know what? That's the winner of the day. All 5 claps. Why? Call me a stickler, but the acknowledgements are crafted carefully so that everyone gets the same amount of credit. Well, almost everyone. Sorry, Mason. Anyway, Liza, I think you're doting mom to the T, and this is definitely the MVP of this 3-tier lot, so appropriately it goes to the very top. Anyway, no matter how it might look inside your very own house or apartment or wherever, I hope you consider any of these cookbooks so that you can give your mom a megawatt smile today, and really any day. Especially on Mother's Day, cooking is one of the most intimate, thoughtful, creative, and just plain fun ways to say, "I love you, Mom," and "Thanks, Mom, for everything you've done for me." It's a lot of effort to buy these cookbooks. It will be even more effort to make any of the recipes featured here. Okay, well, not really that much effort to make the baby food in that cookbook, which is why it's at the top of this review. But you know what? It's a lot of effort still, but it's really worth it. I think Chef John can explain this video mission better than I can, because at this point I'm actually kind of falling sick right now, so I better go and get some rest. But not before I wish all of you moms out there a very happy, very safe, and of course very delicious Mother's Day. And to my very own mother, Luz Maria Holgreen Lee Torres, you might be in a Puerto Rican Medea, Patterson, New Jersey, but at least your heart is bigger than Tyler Perry's Wump. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I'll catch you on the flip side.
But you know what else is a lot of work? Giving birth. So if anyone deserves a little extra effort, it's the moms out there, all right?
You told me she'd eat a hot dog. That's what she said. Look at my baby. My baby's hungry. Oh, go ahead, baby. My baby. Oh, these little folks hungry too, look like. Don't they look like they're hungry? They had nothing to say. I knew you didn't want to pill in your chair.